G'day, I'm Jonathan Holmes. I'm chair of ABC Alumni, a group of former ABC staff who think the national broadcaster is essential to Australia. And because we're former staff, we can tell you stuff the ABC itself can't, especially at election time. For example, when the then Communications Minister Mitch Fifield claimed back in 2018 any suggestion that the ABC might be sold
represents nothing other than another Labor lie.
He was telling a bit of a porky himself, because just 2 days earlier, the Liberal Party's National Council, its highest policy-making body, had debated a motion to privatise the ABC.
Speaker against the motion.
Not a single delegate spoke against privatisation. The vote was overwhelmingly in favour.
Declare it carried.
What about the Abbott government? Remember this?
And no cuts to the ABC or SBS.
But following Abbott's election, ABC funding was cut by nearly 5%. And the ABC's Australian network, broadcasting to our Asia-Pacific neighbours, was simply dropped 1 year into a 10-year contract.
Where was it? Tiles is anything when you're about to be, have water lapping at your doors. Have water lapping at your doors.
We wouldn't have mocked Pacific Island nations about water lapping at their doors, which is what Peter Dutton did, standing next to Scott Morrison. And we wouldn't have thumbed our nose at Pacific leaders when they told us at a Pacific Leaders Forum 2 years ago that climate change was their #1 national security issue.
What a bunch of hypocritical bastards. After having sold the port of Darwin off to the Chinese, they're now complaining that the Solomon Islands has entered a security pact with the Chinese. The government of Australia, that's the coalition, totally inconsistent with their argument. Firstly, they cut off Radio Australia broadcast to the Pacific and then say, but we want to stop in touch because you're our best mates. And now for the grand balls up by Morrison and Dutton. They don't know that the microphones have been left turned on, and they are recorded making a joke about water lapping at the Pacific Islands doorsteps. But how could this be? They don't believe in climate change, nor do they believe in the ABC. The Liberal Party of Australia are on record as saying they will get rid of the ABC at the first available opportunity. They're just not quite game to do it yet.
Scott Morrison is now promising to unfreeze the ABC's budget. But if he's safely re-elected, can we trust him?
Trust him? He's won the world's biggest turd awards for 3 weeks in a row. It was only Putin who took it out from him. Anyway, here he is trying to sell a used car to Prince Charles. But Charles is not as stupid as he looks. He won't have a bar of him. Have a look.
Finance commitments, and we're working very close with our Pacific family, with Prime Minister Bainimarama and the whole team, so which I know you have a great affection for the Pacific.
Justin, isn't that humiliating for our country?
Well, it is humiliating, and Scott Morrison has humiliated us on the world stage many times, and there with the future king, he looks exactly like what he is, a dodgy used car salesman who... he looks exactly like what he is, a dodgy used car salesman.
The IPA's conclusion?
The ABC is dangerous for democracy, and it is incompatible with a free society.
The ABC is dangerous to democracy. If you believe that, go for your life. Vote for the coalition in the House of Reps and the Senate. But if you don't believe it, please make your vote count. Support candidates who back a better funded ABC.